Anyone else? What's this? Africa is the second. What's the largest continent? All right, so since you all don't know, let's do this is Trevor Roper here, who said that Africa had no history. So let's look at what is the largest continent? Is it Asia? You're right, Iman. So Asia is the largest continent. So the 7 continents ranked by size and population: Asia, Africa, North America, which includes United States, South America, Antarctica, Europe, Australia. Australia is the smallest continent. It's a big country, but it's small. Then you have Europe. So look at this here. Africa is the second largest continent. United States, India, Europe, Argentina, and China, and India, New Zealand can all fit into Africa. Right, so Africa is 2.5 times the size of the United States. Think about that, 2.5 times. The United States is not a continent, it is part of the continent of North America. And we know that Canada is bigger than the United States. So this is a satellite view of Africa from space. That is how it looks like. So what are the bodies of water that surrounds Africa? You have the Mediterranean Sea, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean. And within Africa, you have large bodies of water. You have the Niger River, you have Lake Chad, the Nile River, and you have the Red Sea, separates the Middle East from Africa. You have Lake Victoria, which is the source of the Nile. You see, the source. Then there's the Congo River Basin. The Congo River Basin. That's a large body of water within Africa. Let's see if you can pull up a map or pictures of the Congo River Basin. So this is the Congo River Basin here. If you notice, right, all this is rainforest. It looks something like the Amazon. Right, so the Congo River Basin, large body of water. And then there is the Niger, the word is pronounced Niger. It's the Niger River Basin. Niger River, this is Niger here, this is the Niger River. So again, let's look at the Niger River Basin. Could you mute your mic for me, please? So this is the Niger River Basin. This is part of it here. The Niger River Basin. So Africa has, in terms of mountain peaks, you have the Atlas Mountain Peak, you have Mount Kenya, Mount Kilimanjaro, and then in South Africa here you have this mountains. So you have mountain ranges, desert, Libya desert, the Sahara, the Sahel, and you have the Kalahari Desert down in South Africa, and then you have another one here, the Namib Desert. So Africa has 1, 2, 3, 5 deserts, big deserts. And this is a picture of the Sahara. And this is a picture of the Sahel. It's different from the Sahara because things can survive there, right? And then in Africa, you have valleys and plains. Just like in the United States, you have valleys and plains. And this is the Rift Valley. Where in the United States you'll find something like this? Can anyone tell me? When you're flying, you see it from the air. Where would you see that? So this is 3,000 miles long. Where would you, can anyone tell me about that? This in where we have something similar in the States? I'll give you a clue. It starts with a GC. What we'll call that? Picture of the Grand Canyon. This is what you see here. These are rifts. When you're traveling from Texas all the way to Seattle, you see it. Right? You got the Grand Canyon. It runs for miles and miles. Right? So we have our rifts. We call it canyons. And if you look at this here, you will see the shape. It almost, you see, it runs for miles. Miles. So Africa is a tropical continent. You have the Tropic of Cancer, the equator, and the Tropic of Capricorn. Like if you live in South Africa, you experience winters. But if you live all here, it's tropical region, it's tropical hot sun. Like we call summer weather in the United States or even hotter. And these are vegetation zones. These are tropical forests. This is the Congo here. So all the way back to this region, you have tropical forests, what we call rainforests. These are savanna lands where you'll find all your wild beasts, lions, tigers, name them. Some people say that Africa was part of the Garden of Eden. We don't know that. So we can ask a question. We can ask a question. So this is what they say here, how true it is, we don't know. They say the real Garden of Eden has been traced to the African region of Botswana, according to a major DNA study. A study of DNA scientists believe that our ancestral homeland is south of the Zimbabwe River. So that is what it believes. Whether it is true or not, we don't know. Right, so that is still up for debate. Well, the reason why I'm asking you that, think about all the animals, the majority of animals are in Africa, all types of animals. So this is where, if you're inside here, lions will be hunted. They will eat you alive if you are not on a vehicle. They will eat you alive. And then this is rainforest. Remember we talked about rainforest? This is the rainforest region of Africa. You get lost here and never come out if you don't know your way. And of course, this is Mount Kilimanjaro in Kenya. Mount Kilimanjaro. And this is how it looks like. You see, it is this part of it, you'll see snow on top here. Mount Kilimanjaro. And this is in Kenya. And people from all over the world will go there and climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And natural resources. Africa has all the world's natural resources. So I'm going to ask you a question. There's a paradox. There's a paradox in terms of Africa. We can say, some people say this, Africa is rich, yet can someone solve that paradox to me? Anyone wants to attempt? Africa is rich, yet it is poor. Anyone in the class?
Is it because everyone keeps taking the minerals from the land?
All right, so good point, Imani. So in Africa, Africa has all what we call the mineral resources, right? Think about your cell phone, Imani, right? There's a material called coltan, right? And then there's coal, but these things are needed for cell phone. And then think about silicon. Silicon, think about bauxite, think about gold. They say, Imani, diamonds are girl's best friend. Is diamonds your best friend, Imani? So diamonds, where diamonds come from? The majority of diamonds. It comes from South Africa. Right? This region here in Africa called the Congo. Congo is richer than the United States, China, Europe put together. In other words, just what is in the ground in the Congo, right? And I'll prove it for you. Let's look at it. The natural resources of the Congo. So if you take a Google map, this is a Google map of the Congo. This is what they have: coltan, diamonds, you see, diamonds, oil, gold, uranium, tin. All these things come from the Congo. The natural resources of the Congo, and all over Africa. You have a lot of natural resources. Again, so Africa is rich, but it is poor. Why? African people don't own the resources. It is owned by foreigners, and all the money is taken out of Africa. So that's why we call it a paradox. Africa is rich, yet it is poor. It's a paradox. Any questions so far? So I know you have learned something new. Look, right? This is the map of Africa, and all the and if I take you back to another, let's see, mineral resources of, I used to have a map in my office of it, of Africa. If you take the mineral resources of Africa, if you go here, look, bauxite, uranium, gas, coal, iron ore, diamonds, cobalt, baryte, tantalite. Right? These are important resources. Like they'll take these and make jewelry and other products. Right, look at the map of Africa again, right? You see all the resources: oil, gas. Wherever there's oil, there's gas. Diamonds, a girl's best friend. Congo, Tanzania, South Africa, where the majority of diamonds come from here. Uranium, manganese, iron ore, gold. Africa is rich, but yet it is poor. All right, so I've given you the background knowledge about Africa. So you would tell Trevor Roper that he's a liar, because Africa has a history. Africa is not the land of darkness. And why is Africa not the land of darkness? All right, so before we get into the kingdoms of Africa, the societies, in your book on page 224 all the way to the top of 229, we'll talk about migration in Africa, migration. And that migration, it's called the Bantu migration. So the Bantu migration in your book begins on page 228 and ends on page 229, the top of 229. So it's called, in Africa, there's a large migration of people called the Bantu people, and we call it the Bantu migration. So there's an ethnic group called the Bantu people, and they migrated all over. So they migrated to other parts of Africa, Bantu migration. All right, let's see if that is true. Let's prove it. Again, the internet gives us a lot of sources. Picture of Bantu migration. What will we come up with? All right, so this is Africa here. This is where the Bantu people begins here, right? And they will migrate they'll migrate, the Bantu migration. Again, we can pull it up like this. The Bantu, let's see. Right, so the Bantu, these are the Bantu. This is where they begin, and they will spread all over parts of Africa, in West Africa down to South Africa. And then we can look at it from this map. Right, the original Bantu homeland is here, and they will migrate. They will spread out. They will migrate. So this is the original Bantu and the Bantu states, and they will spread all over East and West Africa. So in your book, pages 228 to 229, Bantu migration, because that is, let me see, if it's yeah, Bantu, that's a term in the book. Again, if we want to know that it's true, we can go to our favorite website called what? Ancient.eu. Click and type in close this message. Type in Bantu migration and what comes up? Bantu migration. You click on that and you can read everything here about the Bantu migration. You see, gives you a lot of information. So read upon this. This is your website, the World History Encyclopedia. So read upon it. The Bantu, you see, it starts here and it spreads. They go east, west, north, south. Bantu, they'll tell you. And in your book here, I'll show you something. On page, this is what archaeologists found. The Nook people are Bantu speaking people. They found this. And the Nook people This is on page 226. The Nook people were they knew about smelting iron. So you see, the Bantus were agriculture, spoke various dialects of the Bantu language. They lived around in Niger, Cameroon, Gabon, and they migrated south. And then they founded the coastal East Africa, and they talk about coastal East Africa. So read up on it, right? On the Bantu. All right, so the Bantu migration. The most prominent event in sub-Saharan history. What do we mean by sub-Saharan? Anyone? What do we mean by the term sub-Saharan Africa? When we say sub-Saharan Africa, what are we referring to? Anyone? We are referring to countries in Africa that are situated below the Sahara Desert. So again, let's prove it. Just don't take it from me. If I tell you something, we can prove it. If you want to say sub-Saharan Africa, what, right? All right, so this is sub-Saharan Africa. You see, this is all the countries below the Sahara Desert. Oh, all right, we can pull it up on a map again. You see, this is sub-Saharan Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa. You see, there's the area of the continent that lies south of the Sahara, south of the Sahara. So anything from West Africa, remember Africa, this is if you take a map of Africa, right, if you look at a map of sub-Saharan Africa, this is the map of, right, if you want to get it to here, these are the countries here, right? And this is North Africa. Remember Egypt, Libya, Chad, and all these countries are up here in North Africa. This is West Africa, West Africa. This is Central Africa. This is East Africa. This is Southern Africa. Right? You have Central Africa, West Africa, Southern Africa, East Africa, North Africa. Again, these are the countries up north. These are the countries, right? And then you have Southern Africa. This is Southern Africa here. This is East Africa from, if you take from Somalia, right? All here from Somalia, Mogadishu, this is East Africa. So East Africa leads towards the Indian Ocean. So the Bantu migrations of the Bantu-speaking peoples and the establishment of agricultural societies in regions where the Bantu speakers settled. This spread to most of the other regions of South Africa to the Sahara, right? So they migrated. They were initially from Niger region, and they migrated from West Africa, and they spread their knowledge, their language of iron production. Again, when you read this, the Nook people, iron production. So that migration occurred between 500 BCE to 500 to the Common Era, to the Bantu. And this is a map of the Bantu migration. So this is where they were located. This is where they began. And they spread. They came this way. Then they came here. They settled here. And they came all the way down into Southern Africa. You see, this is Lake Victoria. So they will know about Lake Victoria. These people saw this. And this is the Nile. Remember the Nile? This is the source of the Nile. Where does the Nile water? Anyone? Where does the Nile empties its water? Let me see if you're learning anything from history in April month. In the Mediterranean Sea. So African society consists of towns and villages. And it is not based on patrilineal, it is a matrilineal society. It is based on the extended family units, where the woman is dominant. Matrilineal, you take your mother's maiden name. Matrilineal. Right? As opposed to patrilineal means the father is the head of the home. So in Africa, there's a lot of extended families. In terms of religion, as a mixture of polytheism, Islam, which is studied. They have different varieties of Christendom religions. So there are millions of Roman Catholics in Africa, millions of people who are Islam. I'll show you something. In Nigeria, for instance, Nigeria. In Nigeria, Nigeria is the largest Muslim population in West Africa. The CIA estimates over 50% of the population is Muslim. And the majority of them are Sunnis. Right? So all over Africa, right? So there's a lot of Muslim people in Africa. Oh, anybody know this place? Senegal? Senegal has a lot of Muslim people too. It's French. This is Senegal here. You see this region here? Has a lot of Islamic people in this region. Senegal. So you have Catholic people in Senegal, you have Muslim people, and your famous singer, if you know what Akon comes from Senegal. And then you have Ghana, another highly populated Muslim place. Right. So Africa has multiple religions. Some people practice what we call polytheism, And some practice Islam, some are Christian, some are all types of religion. African culture. So in Africa, there's a lot of people wear masks and statues. You see people dancing with masks on. They engage in bronze and ironwork. And Africans dance to music, and they do a lot of storytelling. And the storytellers are called griots, Griots, the griots, the storytellers. They are the ones who know the history. And let's pull it up. So these are griots. In Africa, the griots, you see they have their musical instrument, and they are the ones who are writing down the history of Africa. Right? It is passed down from generation to generation. It is not written to the griots. You see, they always have their musical instruments, the griots. Today we'll call them poets. They speak the spoken word. In the United States, you'll call them rappers, right? So who are griots? What do? They are poets, they are historians, they are advisors, they are spokespersons, they are diplomats, peacemakers, praise singers, interpreters, translators, musicians, composers, teachers, warriors, and witnesses. That's what griots do, right? You see, they have your drum. This is a talking drum, and you hold it, and while the griot is speaking, the musician, he'll be speaking, and then look at this here. You see, they have their drums in their villages. They always have their drumming. And if you go to place, these are the kinds of different musical instruments they make. Do you know this instrument called the banjo? Banjo. This is a banjo. Right? Well, African people used to play the banjo. Because part of this came out from Africa. The banjo and Africa, if we say the banjo and Africa, right? The banjo came to America with the slaves. They brought their music, the banjo, and the banjo originated here from other instruments. So there are people who that is what they play the banjo. So you see what Africans brought to America. Africans were not dumb people. They came with their knowledge of music, culture, all types of things. So, all right. So I gave you a full background of Africa in terms of location, size, population, name it. You have a background. So from this background, you can tell Trevor Roper that he's a liar. I mean, you have to say more than that, because I will ask you to prove this historian wrong. Let's say you were taking my class. In class, I might give you this question for the final exam. One question to prove that Trevor Roper was wrong. But you have to bring information to bear to me to show me that Africa has a history. You can't just say Trevor Roper was wrong. Show me how he was wrong. You come like you're doing mathematics and you're trying to prove a formula, you have to prove it to me by bringing evidence, right? Okay. So one of the earliest African kingdoms was Ghana. Now, there's a country called Ghana today, but that is not the Ghana we are speaking about. We are speaking about ancient Ghana. And it existed from 750 to 1076. And then there was Mali. Mali is a country today, but there's an empire called the Mali Empire. Then there's a place called Songhai. Is this song in Chinese? You have Shanghai in China, and you have Songhai, but it's not related. Then you had the Great Zimbabwe, and then the Swahili Coast. These were some of the major, and then you have other civilizations like the Hausa and others, and we'll talk about that. But today we are focusing on Ghana, ancient Ghana. So again, let me take you to your website. And if you type in ancient Ghana, what comes up? Voila, the Ghana Empire. You click on this and you get information about the Ghana Empire. This is the Ghana Empire, all here. So it's the Ghana Empire. The Ghana is, so today there's a country called Ghana, but what we are referring to here is an empire that stretched, right? The empire went all the way up to North Africa. This is Tunisia, the Ghana Empire, right? It's up, right? And they were involved in the trans-Saharan trade route that took you all the way to the Mediterranean world. So this was the capital called Kumbi Saleh. They had kings and government. So this is where it began. You see this here, the empire. The empire. The empire. This is Ghana. Today there's a country called Ghana, but we're talking about ancient Ghana. So you can come here and read this. Right? You have other things about ancient Ghana here. The salt trade. This was an important trade in Ghana. What? All the salt and gold. So you can read this here. The salt trade of ancient West Africa in terms of ancient Ghana. The salt trade, you see, the Ghana Empire. And you see, whoever controlled the salt trade also controlled the gold trade. So you can read this also. Very important. So ancient Ghana. And this is right, the salt trade, the gold. So you have Ghana, and then you have Mali, Songhai, the Hausas, Benin, and they were trading. This is Timbuktu, and they were trading all over here, all up to Tunisia. They were trading all in this region here, all the way to the Red Sea, into the Mediterranean, into Asia, into the Middle East. So this is the gold and salt trade. Right, this is ancient Ghana here. Right, the kingdom. So it existed from the 6th century, and we'll see that kings ruled as powerful rulers. They had iron ore, iron tools, and weapons. And Ghana became the center for trade for gold and salt. So let me point you to your textbook. In your textbook, you'll see on page 229 all the way to page 247. You'll read upon the kingdoms, 229 to 247. So ancient, and this is what they formed. This is the kind of money. This was gold in the form of money. You see, they shaped it like a crocodile because they knew how to turn gold, take gold dust and turn it into gold. They had the technology to do it. So this is the Ghana Empire. So the empire owed much of its prosperity to trans-Saharan trade and a strategic location near the gold and salt mines. Both gold and salt seem to be the dominant sources of revenue. So if they say here, you see they traded all the way up to Morocco. Look, they said many of the ancient leather goods found in old Morocco also had their origins in empire. So the main center of trade was Kumba Saleh. Kumbi Saleh. Let's prove that. So this is ancient Kumbi Saleh. You see, this is what archaeologists found that existed in Kumbi Saleh. Right? This is what they unearthed. And this is what a joint makes it look like. The Ghana Empire rules Western Africa. So the Western Africa was ruled by the people of the ancient Ghana. So if you come to these pictures, you'll see, right? And they built all these things. Mosques, you see, these look like skyscrapers. These are mosques. Because they were Islamic, right? You see what they built? So if Trevor Roper said that these people were ignorant, it is not true. And if you want to say, let's see, kings of ancient Ghana. So you see a king of ancient Ghana. You see how the king traveled? Right? So they had government. They had an organized structure of government with kings and rulers. So ancient Ghana, and this is what they built. This is an Islamic mosque, right? Because Islam took over that part of the world. The Berbers came in and they controlled. And these are them here, the Berbers. They were nomad to carry goods across the Sahara, right? And they used camel to link both sides of the Sahara Desert. That spread from from east to from west to east. So the Berbers, you see, the Berbers, they are traders. So they will be trading what? They'll be taking the gold and the salt from Ghana and taking it all the way to other parts of the Gen world. So ancient Ghana. I had want to see if I could find it just now. I had some other notes. Let me see. I have to look for it, but I know I made some notes on ancient. I'm trying to find it here. West African civilizations. I'm trying to remember what I saved it under, but I did it about 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not sure where I saved it. Probably I'll find it. I'll find it. I'll look for it later. But anyhow, so if we go back to ancient Ghana, right? So remember, there's a country called Ghana today. We are studying ancient Ghana. So this gives you a little idea of the kingdom of Ghana. Gold, you see that gold in Ouagadougou, the politics, they had the Yoruba king. And then they were part of the trans-Saharan trade. So then, as I said, our website is ancient.eu. When you go to ancient.eu, you will, right, and you type in ancient Ghana. So this is what you'll read. You'll read this one here, and you'll read this, right? Ancient Ghana, so we could find again. And then look, you have this one here, the Ghana Empire. Right, you could, right, it's a map, the Ghana Empire. But when you're reading the first one, there's the first one here, you'll read, and there's a book called this book here called Ancient Africa. A guide to ancient African civilizations, the kingdom of Kush, the land of Punt, Carthage, the kingdom of Ascom, and the Mali with its Timbuktu. So this is a book here, yeah, and there are several of them. But as I said, and then you have Royal Kingdoms of Africa. This is another book of Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. All right, so another kingdom that came into prominence. So we look at Ghana. It's Mali. Today there's a country called Mali. But again, we are studying what? So we have, let's look at ancient Ghana. We looked at the salt. We look at the salt trade and gold trade, right? So everything, salt and trade, all that passed to ancient Ghana, and those goods were taxed. So Ghana became rich and powerful. And eventually we'll have the Berbers. The Berbers, they are Muslim people. They will take over Ghana. They will take control and Ghana will fall. And it will give rise to what? Ancient Mali. Mali, ancient Mali. So again, if you want to know if this is true, you go to ancient.eu and we pull up our country here, ancient Mali. Voila. This is what you get. You see the Mali Empire. Look at here. You click on the Mali Empire and you read. You click on the Mali Empire and it gives you details about the Mali Empire. And who are some of the rulers? We'll talk about him, Mansa Musa, and the things they built. Right? So when you go to ancient Mali here on this website, you'll see, read this Mali Empire, read Mansa Musa, read Timbuktu, read Sanjata Kita, read these four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Read them. Read all four. So Mali. So this is Ghana, ancient Ghana, and Mali at one time was part of the Ghanaian Empire, and then the people here will take over the region. The people here will take over. So who was the first leader of ancient Mali? Sanjia Kitia. The D in Senegalese language, it is pronounced like a J. It's Sanjata. D is pronounced like in Senegalese. The D is pronounced like a J. So again, if we want to know what's him, we go look at here, look him here. So look him here, Kita. Right? So you can read up on Sanjay Kita. You can read up on him. Right? He became Islamic. So Islam, a religion, began to spread in that part of the region, in West Africa. So you have a lot of information, sorry, on Right, Sanjay Kita. So read up on him, read up on him. So he was the first king of Mali. And this is what they built, right? And they also took control of the salt trade. And when Kita died, this man here called Mansa Musa, he expanded the empire. He converted to Islam, and he became, he made a Hajj. Remember the word Hajj? He went to where? He made a pilgrimage to Mecca, and he, right? Mali was the richest kingdom. This is a picture of him here, Mansa Musa. Again, if you want to know what Mansa Musa, look him here. Read about him here. Mansa Musa the first. Mansa Musa. Everything you want to know about Mansa Musa, you'll find it here. And in today's money, the wealth that they had, Mansa Musa would have been the world's richest man in today's money. So read on Mansa Musa. So the Mali Empire, again, they used trade and they taxed every ounce of gold or salt that entered its borders. By the beginning of the 14th century, this is the common era. Mali was the source of almost half of the whole world's gold exported. Think about that. Africa was a rich place. Think about Africa exported half of the world's gold in that period, in the 14th century. And this place here, ancient Timbuktu, had universities. There was a center of trade. Again, we can look it up. Timbuktu, look at here. Timbuktu. Anything you want to know on Timbuktu? Timbuktu. Read up on Timbuktu. It was a center of learning. Islamic scholars came to Timbuktu. And then the empire, it will decline. Timbuktu. And there was a mosque called, a university called Sankore. Timbuktu. Again, anything you want to know about, right? So ancient Mali. Timbuktu. This is Timbuktu, part of Timbuktu. This is a building, they call it heavenly clay. If you notice, it's built out of clay. Right? These are buildings. Again, the rooftop of a mosque. Right? So this is a map drawn in 1376, 75 AD, shows a trader on camelback coming to the great leader of the Mali Empire, Mansa Musa. He's holding a huge gold nugget. Why? Because gold. So, as I said, everything you want to know about Timbuktu is here. Everything you want to know about. So for Mali, you read this: Mali Empire, Mansa Musa, Timbuktu, Sanjay Kita. You read these four. 1, 2, 3, 4. You read these four. And you'll have a wealth of information about ancient Mali. And I will stop here today and just recap. So when we meet Thursday, we'll continue with Songhai. Then we'll go to Ethiopia, Songhai. Then we'll go to the East African city-states. Then we'll go to South Africa kingdoms. And we'll complete this. This has 88 slides. It's there for you on Blackboard. So don't wait on me. You can prepare. So as I said, everything about the kingdoms in this book your chapter is chapter 10. Right? So begin to read chapter 10. So just to recap what we did today. So far, I gave you a brief overview of Africa in terms of size. 4,600 miles by this, right? It's the second largest continent in the world. It has 10% of the world's population. And these countries, the United States, Argentina, these are big countries, could fit right into African countries. The United States is big, powerful militarily and monetarily, but in terms of size, it is not big. Canada is bigger than the United States. And Canada has more resources that have not been tapped yet because Canada's population is very small. There are parts of Canada where few people live there. It's so spread out that the population is very small. So we looked at, all these things right? So we looked at, this is a satellite view of Africa. This is a view from space, right? What is saying here? The green tells us this is rain what? Forest. This is the Congo. This is North Africa. North Africa. You have parts of the Sahara. Then you have countries below, right? This is West Africa, West Africa. This is Central Africa. This is Southern Africa. We have South Africa, Zimbabwe, and this is East Africa. Right? A lot of going up here, you have, this is the Middle East. This is the Suez Canal. This region here, part of this is what? You have, right? You have Ethiopia around this area. This is East Africa. So we'll study the East African city-states. This is a big island in the Indian Ocean called Madagascar. This is Madagascar. All types of people live on Madagascar. So Africa, in terms of bodies of water, is surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea, the Red Sea. You have the Atlantic Ocean and by seas and oceans, and then internally, what you have, rivers, lakes in Africa. Right, this is Lake Victoria, as we learned when we were doing ancient Egypt, the source of the Nile, and the Nile empties into the Mediterranean Sea. So what does that tell us? Ancient African people knew about the Mediterranean Sea. But here, we'll find ancient Ghana somewhere here, and they were trading all the way here. They were trading across through the Sahara Desert with using camels, and they were going all the way, all in Saudi Arabia, all in Arabia, Persia, and people coming this way, people going this way. So they would trade, people traded. This is the Congo River Basin, right? The Congo River Basin. Large body of water. So, and then you find 99% of the country of Zaire. Zaire is a country in the, right? It's in the Congo River Basin. They are changing name from the Congo to Zaire. This is the Niger River Basin. This is the Niger River Basin. And then this year, this is a river here called the Senegambia River. It's a big river, right? It's called the Senegambia. If you want to know about it, well, from the word Senegal, Senegambia. So this is the Senegambia River here, right? It flows through different places. So you see that they build bridges over the river for transport. Senegal. So this is Senegal, and you have the Gambia River. The Senegal. So we looked at this. We looked at Africa in terms of mountain peaks. Mount Kilimanjaro is in Kenya. Right, Kilimanjaro, snow mountain covered peak. We looked at deserts in Africa. Different, right? Africa has 6 deserts. Here we have the Sahara Desert. This is the Sahara. Nothing grows there. I mean, right? The Sahara, it runs for miles and miles and miles and miles. And this is the Sahel. Sahel. And then we have Africa and plains, right? And we talk about, like in America, where you have the Grand Canyons, you have, in Africa, it's called the Great Rift Valley. Just like when you travel from Texas to going to California or Seattle or Washington State, you fly over the Grand Canyons. I mean, it's a frightening scene in a plane. I traveled one time from Texas to Seattle, and I'm looking, I'm at the window and I'm looking at, saying, if a plane crashes here, everybody, they will not find you. They'll take months or days to find people alive because, I mean, it's very steep, the Grand Canyon. It's beautiful to see from the air, but it can also be frightening. I mean, if you look at, again, if you never seen the Grand Canyons, all right? You see, this is what you'll be seeing when you travel in the air. You'll be seeing all these scenes of the Grand Canyon. So the Grand Canyon today is a national park, part of the national parks of America, of the United States. And we also looked at vegetation zones. We looked at savannas. Africa has 13 million square miles. Think about that. That is 13 million square miles of savanna land. And what you find in the savanna land? Animals, wild animals, tigers, lion. But the lion is called the king of the savanna land. Right? Big place. Africa also has equatorial rainforest, a lot of rainfall. And here you have a lot of apes and monkeys and baboons and poison, all types of large poisonous snakes. Right? Anything you want to think of in a rainforest. Africa has a lot of natural what? Resources. We talk about that. Africa is rich, yet Africa is what? Poor. Why is it poor? Because countries, America, China, today, India, Brazil, and other countries, they dominate Africa. China is dominating Africa right now, taking Africa's resources. And here we have a topography of Africa. If you're doing geography, you have to know what the topography. This is the Libyan desert. This is Libya, right? You have the Sahara Desert, the Sahel, right? And then you have the Kalahari. This is South Africa here. This is Ethiopia up on the side. This is what? Egypt. You have Chad. Right? This is the Sahara. So take anything below the Sahara. This is West Africa. This is the Niger River Basin. This is the Congo River Basin. This is right, and this is East Africa, West Africa, North Africa, South Africa. And how did the Portuguese dominate the world? They sailed down the west coast of Africa, and they came to the Cape of Good Hope, and they found their way into the Indian Ocean. This is where the Chinese, China, India, people from the Middle East were trading in the Indian Ocean. Chinese, Indians, Africans were trading here, and the Portuguese came. We'll talk about this in our last chapter. We talk about right? We talk about Bantu migrations, Bantu people, Bantu speaking people, and this migration is in your book, so you can read upon it. I showed you, or you go to the website and read more. Bantu. So this is what, and this is where we covered here. We talk about Ghana, ancient Ghana. We talk about Mali. I mean, this is a lesson by itself. I could spend a whole term talking about Mansa Musa. Ancient Mali, Timbuktu. You know, and this is then I'll stop here. But this is true. But it is true, but it is laughable. In one of my classes in 2018 during the summer, I gave the term Timbuktu to define. And you know what a student told me? That Timbuktu was a shopping mall. I'm serious. That is laughable. I mean, anybody who read that will say, well, what are you learning at Tuskegee University? And they point to me, but I know I didn't teach people that. Timbuktu is an ancient place. It still exists today. Timbuktu, well, it's the Boko Haram. They were destroying all these things in Africa. The ancient scrolls of Timbuktu. So I will stop here. I will take roll, and you will have your dinner. Today I saw apparently a student, I don't know if the student is in hospital, but a student ran into a defense street and it damaged part of Margaret Murray Hall yesterday. You all heard about that? Anybody heard about that?